Indians have been saving America for almost 60 years, not because the highest income they generate among every other nationality in the country, but also their contributions to the STEM field in this country: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You see, the United States on its own just produces about 35,000 scientists a year. India produces between 200,000 to 300,000 graduates in science, and China produces 500,000 to 1 million. But every year, the United States gets between 15,000 to 22,000 of the best scientists on the planet, and that keeps us ahead. Here's a very simple breakdown of immigrants in science and engineering occupations. India has 28.9% of them. Fun fact, look at Mexico. They are number one in all STEM occupations. It's not just scientists, but also repairmen, maintenance, technicians. Now, China represents almost 13%, but that number is dwindling. Fortunately, India is still making up for that loss. That's not the only field that Indian people have been relegated to. When it comes to leadership in the business world, 60 CEOs of Fortune 500 companies come from Indian descent. Then there's the fact that they bring in twice the income of the average American, and this is in 2021. In fact, of all other immigrant groups, they are the highest earner when it comes to median household income. Now, the thing is, Indians have been coming into this country since the late 1890s, but in small droves. It was the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which opened the floodgates, and it allowed their best and brightest to come into this country. And I'm well aware it's not just Indians. In fact, 25 to 30% of the entire STEM community comes from immigrants. I know some people are mad because they're going to accuse me of pushing the model minority narrative, but that's kind of dumb. Just face the fact that immigrants in general produce more economic output than Americans that were born here. They are 60% more likely to open up a business than someone who's been born here, more likely to come into this country with a college degree or higher, and they're more likely to place a strong emphasis on education and family values than the average American. And that's immigrants of every race, creed, and color. Remember, of all these other immigrant groups that come into this country and contribute, these are their most educated, these are their biggest producers. And for some reason, Indians are on top of all of these other creme de la creme people. And it's not just the population. I know India has about 1.4 billion people, but look at Pakistan. They have 300 million people, yet they are below Taiwan and Philippines, who of course have a lower population. Look at China. They are right here, well below Sri Lankan. They have the second highest population at like 1.39 billion. As the child of an immigrant who grew up around a bunch of other immigrants of every race, creed, and color, I could say this one thing about Indians, at least from anecdotal evidence. They are the most adaptive people I have ever met. Not every single one of them, but a large part of the sample. I got a master's in statistics, so 90% of the distribution of my classes were people who were from India and China, and then 10% was just everybody else. Indians were the only ones who I met far and wide who had very strong STEM skills, but they were also very social, cultural, and very adaptable to just any kind of change. I didn't see that anywhere else. And I think that's what got them to the top, and it's keeping them there. I am the Geo Husar, and I just want to say thank you to all the immigrants who are keeping this country actually running. Thanks for watching.